Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keiaradise. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, join the tribe, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I don't know why I picked these up. Don't forget about TikTok. So I thought that it would be really fun to talk about my experience dating Chinese men. Oh my gosh, yes, I date Chinese men. I love Chinese men. Me and my friend. And is that a fetish? Is that fetishizing? I don't think it's fetishizing. Fetishizing, because it's not like I prefer. Okay, we'll get into it. I just don't think it's fetishizing. So let's talk about my experience. I have dated a lot of Chinese men, but for me, I've never had a long-term relationship with any men. But I have dated, like casually dated plenty of Chinese guys. So I think I can kind of like speak on this topic because I'm a bit of an expert. I am a bit of an expert. So I prefer Chinese men because, like, first of all, I want to learn Chinese. Not want to learn. I speak Chinese, but I want to speak Chinese. And no better place to learn a language than in the bedroom. And it's funny because, like, when I first moved to China, which was in like 2012, 2011, I just didn't have any interest in dating Chinese guys. I don't know why. Like, it's very common for foreign women to be completely opposed to the idea of dating Chinese men. And I think we need to change that because, like, Chinese women, they are the apple of expat men's eye in China. So the Chinese women are out and doing their thing. The Chinese men are kind of like left in the dust, and foreign women won't even entertain the idea of dating them. And I don't understand. Well, I do understand, but I think it's not too accurate. Or so, for instance, okay, there's like a big stereotype, and like, okay, and I'm not talking about that stereotype because that stereotype debunked right now is not true. You know which stereotype I'm talking about, so stop, okay? I hate that stereotype. It's just so demeaning and belittling. Like, decolonize your mind, okay? So, I think the stereotype is like Chinese men kind of like, for lack of better words, don't have kind of like a swag, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard to come across ones that do, but a lot do. Okay, like, let me give you some numbers. Let's talk about some numbers. For instance, there's this whole thing called the one-child policy, or in China, Chinese, it's called like is it Shengyu Jihua? I think it's, or Jihua Shengyu. Like basically birth plans. And so when the one-child policy came about in the 80s, they stopped wanting to have female children or female babies, and they either like aborted them or did bad things that we won't get into. But anyway, this has caused a ripple effect of having a very high, a disparagingly high amount of men. Apparently, there are 30-something million more men than women in China. So men are a dime a dozen out there. And like, in my opinion, in my experience, every Chinese guy that I've ever dated has been a gentleman. Like, always. Like, they come correct, like, they know if I want to find a woman, if I want to have a wife, happy life, okay, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. If I want that, I have to open doors. I have to, like, at least that's been in my experience. That might be like what I attract because that's what I command. Okay, sis, girls out there, women out there, he needs to open your door, period, every time. He needs to pay for the date every time. If he wants a first date, he got to pay for it. Oh no, if he wants a second date, he got to pay for the first date. If he wants a third date, he got to pay for the second date. If he wants a fourth date, he got to pay for the, you know, and on in perpetuity. Period. If you don't agree with that, don't agree with it. But if you do, that's what you have to command. That's what you have to exude, you know. So with Chinese men, they have always picked up the bill. Like my ex, the one who I've been like most serious about, like, oh my god, I think about him and I'm just like, I have to get out my like invisible cigarette. Drives me like the thought of him alone, oh my gosh, y'all. He would just feel more empowered by paying the bill. I know that for a fact because he would just get up, like he'd say, oh, excuse me, let me excuse me real quick. Get up, go pay the bill, come sit back down. You know, I would think he was going to the bathroom or something, but like he would go and pay the bill. And he's like, all right, are you ready to go? I'm ready to go. And I'm like, what happened to the bill? You know, what about the my dad woman with my dad? And he'd be like, I already took care of that. I'm like, yes, take notes from the Chinese men, even though I don't know if he's like a representation of all Chinese men, but like him, oh child, let me, I need to get some water, because like that type of stuff is just so sexy to me. Like, see, men, this is what you have to do, I'm telling you, because yes, we love that. It's not that hard. Also, I found that like Chinese men love to take care of their women. Like, I'm not talking about all, you know, in my experience, like I've always had like Chinese guys do things for me. Not like in a usury type of way, but more like, how are you today? I'm I'm not feeling too well. And they'll be like, oh, what's wrong? My this is that, you know, okay, I can bring you some blah blah blah, or I can take you, do you need me to take you to the doctor? Do you need anything? Like that. That is what I've experienced with even like guys who I've only been on a date with. You know what I'm saying? Like they were always the ones who were like, okay, let me see you home. Like let me take you home kind of thing. Like, let me make sure you get home safely, even though China is super safe. But like, it was always like that without having to ask. Cause it's, I just think that like in the climate, even though it's really terrible how the disparity of gender is in China, it's kind of like it's survival out here. We want a woman, we gotta come correct. Okay, we gotta come correct. And yeah, so if you wanted like a man with, okay, like for instance, like the man who I'm talking about, we're gonna just call him Onion. He's from northern China. Or like he's I think he's Hunanese, and they're big. Like, oh, they're like this big old like Hun looking dude. Like, sounds terrible. Like he looks like he's a Mongolian kind of like big Beifangren. He looks like that. Like he's just this big old man, you know, a man. Another sip of water, please. Yeah. I don't know what I was talking about, but like, I'm like, okay, if you want like this big old man, go to northern China. And then like, not to say you can't find that in like southern China. No, I'm not saying that, because you know every big men are like anomalies. You know, they come hard to find, but like once you find them, oof, you have struck gold. Okay. And so yeah, like you can also, if you want like a guy who like has kind of like a cool swagger type of dude, like, you know what I mean, like kind of, you know what I mean, like that, like, I'm probably talking to black women out here, because I think like we have to join forces. I really believe that, like that black women and Asian men have to join forces. We are a freaking force to be reckoned with, because apparently we are the least desirable. But like, y'all are out here being outnumbered, we're here being outnumbered. Like, let's get together. Okay, like, come on, it just makes sense. So anyway, if you want like a swagger kind of guy, I would say go to Chengdu. Go to Chengdu, go to Sichuan province. That's like where they have like this whole hip hop, trap music, Chinese trap music kind of movement, and like go there. I'm sure you're gonna find a swagger having Chinese man who is gonna be all about you. He's gonna be like, "Ooh, I got me a freaking black queen." Oh, oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah. And then if you want like a techie Chinese guy, you can go to like like Guangdong and Shenzhen, like the south, you know, and then you'll be good. Like it's just so many of them. Like, let's just have a smorgasbord. Yeah. And so like, you know, you might have to like teach him a thing or two. I didn't have to teach Ryan anything. I didn't have to teach him anything. I didn't have to teach him a thing. I did not have to teach him anything. Like he was teaching me, and that's what we're looking for, girls. We're looking for someone who can teach us, but it's okay. Like, you might have to like, you know, because like I had a bunch of like classmates, right? I went to Fudan University and I studied all those Chinese people, like with like natives, and I was one of 2 foreigners out of like 90 people in my class. And there was a couple of them that were cute, but like they just were kind of like geeky, nerdy. But I was like, you know what? I bet you, like, if I put in some work, if I like, you know what I mean, like if I love Don't Cost a Thing, one of them, I think it would have worked out. I think I could have loved Don't Cost a Thing did them. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? I could have loved Don't Cost a Thing and it did them. Like, if you haven't seen that movie, I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, so my experience with Chinese men has been amazing. Like, I've dated Chinese American men too. Like, I remember this one guy before I met Onion. He was totally about that life. He was like, and we were in America, but I think he was also from Shanghai. Like, take me on a date, open doors, you know, like all the good stuff. Like the gentleman chivalry that we're looking for. Chinese men will do it, you know. So I don't know. I have never dated any other Asian men. I don't think I have. No, I haven't at all. All just been Chinese. It's either been like Chinese American or Chinese. Yeah. Never anything else from what I know. Yes. Affirmative. Only Chinese. So I'm only vouching for my Chinese men, and I'm gonna stick to that, because like a lot of people will misinterpret it as like I like all Asian men, and it's not that I don't like all Asian men, but like when I say I want a Chinese man, I mean like I want a Chinese man from China who speaks Chinese. Yes, that's what I want. And I found that like all of my Chinese boo things have all been like oddly clean, which is great. Like no, not like yes, hygienically clean, but I'm talking about like their space. You know, if you go to their place, it's all like organized and clean. Like, it's like, man, do they? I think that they all have to kind of like not join the military, but they have to do some kind of like military thing in college or something, or in high school. I don't know. They have to do some kind of like boot camp, but not. I think that's true. They do that in Korea too, huh? But I'm open. Anyway. I'm a single gal. I'm a single gal looking for the Chinese man of my dreams. He doesn't. I mean, like, I'm open to all. Okay, I'm an equal opportunity dater. Don't get me wrong, equal opportunity dater. But like in my head, I felt like I know what I want. Like, if I could draw him and order him like a pizza, then I would be like, okay, Chinese, speaks of Chinese. I want him to be 6'3". I like 6'3", 6'4". I like 4. The number 4. 6'2". I like the number 6. I like the number 2. I like the number 2. He has to be 6'2". Just a big, like, the big man, the man. Oh, and then, you know, like just all that. Okay, so I'm trying to manifest that. Okay, so yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I've talked enough about. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. I'm like my experience dating Chinese men. Yeah, yeah. So like be open to it. You know, like if you ever go to China, get you a Chinese boo thing. You know, go on Tantan. I remember when I was on Tantan. Tantan is like Chinese Tinder. I had like 200,000 likes on there. Like it says on your profile, 200,000 people liked your profile. I think I only went on like 2 or 3 dates on Tantan. And I remember one was like this, another thing about them, they don't play that whole like dating, like casual situationship stuff. You're their girlfriend. There's no, like, there's no questioning. You know how like us Western girls, or not Western girls, American girls, we always have to ask the guy like, so what are we? In China, no, that's your boyfriend, you're his girlfriend. Like I asked my ex, or I asked Onion that once, and he was like, you're my girlfriend. Like, why are you asking me this? And I'm like, oh. Well, I didn't know I was assigned a title without you properly asking me. Thank you very much, but okay. Yeah. So I remember I went on this date from this guy on Tantan. Like, you know, I was talking to him for a couple weeks, and at the time, like, I really just wanted to like have someone to speak Chinese with, right? And his picture was cute, and I was like, okay, I can actually like this guy. Like, okay. He looked good. He looked it good. And then we met in person, and he was a catfish. Not that it wasn't him in the photo. It was him, but like that was him on his best day of his life, and at the best angles, and the best. Because I was like, how? Yeah. And then I remember, like, I was like, all right, well, I can just like have a meal with him. And he took me to this restaurant that I'm like, I hate. Like, I hate it. It's like a chain restaurant in China. I forgot what it's called. It's like cerise. I was gonna say psoriasis. No, it's like it's some kind of Italian chain, and it's flipping terrible, and the food is really cheap, and it's just noodles, you know, like pasta, I mean. And we sat there, and I got some like, what is that called? Bruschetta, whatever. The bread with the thing on it. And he had like terrible teeth and all this. And I was like, we were talking for like 2 weeks too. And I was like, and he was calling me his girlfriend even then. I was like, ooh, I got me a little Chinese boo now. Ooh, I can't wait to meet him in person. And he gonna be so cute. He funny. And I'm right in person. I was like, And then he was gonna say to me like, oh, so are we still like? I said I couldn't even fake the funk. I was like, no, I'm heck no, hell no. And then like it's super awkward, and I'm just sitting there like really freaking fuming. And he gonna say to me, so what kind of panties are you wearing? I got up and walked away. And then he texted me calling me a bitch. And that's not part of this story, because he's not a good example. He's a freaking psycho, clearly. Catfishing crazy. Anyways, yeah, so I've had weird situations like that, and I've had great situations like that. Great situations like Onion. Okay, so I'm officially gonna like wrap up the video here. Be open to dating all kinds of different people, because it's lit out here to be an equal opportunity dater. I watched this video about like Black women being more open to dating outside their race, because you should do that. Anyway, okay, I hope you guys liked this video. See you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.